young Cussle in the house. What? You already know how this shit go. Marathon, whoa. Hey, it's young Cussle when I'm about to make it crack. Got a rollie on my wrist and my city on my back. Shout out the bitches on the stage getting racks. Told her it's a marathon, now she out here running laps. Hey, chip on my shoulder for niggas that hated on us.
Los Angeles, California, Monday, May 6, 2019, 1:05 p.m. At the beginning of the proceedings, 23 grand jurors were present. Mrs. Annalie Roca, Madam Foreperson, would you please call this criminal grand jury hearing to order? So ordered? The Foreperson, so ordered. Thank you so much. Please let the record reflect that the same number, as well as the same grand jurors present at morning's roll call, minus one juror, are present. Also present is Deputy District Attorney John McKinney and myself, the Grand Jury Legal Advisor. And Mr. Sergeant at Arms, let's go ahead and recall Mr. Douglas to finish with his testimony. The witness entered the Grand Jury hearing room. Thank you, Mr. Douglas. Go ahead and retake your seat. Herman Douglas, called as a witness before the Grand Jury of the County of Los Angeles, having been previously sworn, resumed the stand and testified further as follows. Mrs. Annalie Roca. And we have to remind Mr. Douglas of his oath again. The Foreperson. You will recall that you have previously been sworn and are still under oath. Please restate your name. The witness. Herman Douglas. Mrs. Roca. Thank you, Mr. Douglas. And as well, you left your cell phone outside and you have no recording devices on you, correct? Yes. Thank you so much. Madam Foreperson, with your permission, may Mr. McKinney proceed? The Foreperson. Yes. Mr. McKinney. All right, thank you. Mrs. Roca. It's better for the grand jurors and the witness if the lights are dimmed. I don't mind. Go ahead. Thank you though. Examination resumed by Mr. McKinney. Okay, Mr. Douglas, at the break I think you were testifying about seeing Mr. Holder arrive. Do you recall that? Yes. And you described how he entered the parking lot in a white car from Slauson, correct? Yes. Was he the driver or passenger in that car? Passenger. Does that mean that when the car first went by your location, he was closer to you than the driver was? Yes. And you testified that when the car went by, Nipsey made some reference to him. Is that correct? Yes. Tell us about that. Well, he made a reference to Rimpaw. Just, he was inquiring, is that shitty? Cause I think nobody hadn't seen him in some years. Okay, so you heard Nipsey say, is that shitty, as the car went by? Yes. When he said that, did you look into the car and see Holder in the passenger seat? No, the car had already passed me, so I really couldn't see. I just overheard what he had said, and that's what got me curious of the car, and that's when Holder approached us. Okay, so my next question was, you described the car coming to a stop in the parking lot adjacent to the Master Burger, closer to the northern row of cars parked in the lot. What happened next? Shitty got out of the car and walked up and spoke to us. Okay. And when he approached you, can you tell us anything about how he was dressed? He didn't have a shirt on. He had no shirt on? He had no shirt on. Do you recall anything else about the way he was dressed? Maybe he might have had on some shorts, jean shorts or something. I'm not sure. Let me show you a grand jury exhibit. This is grand jury exhibit number 8. Do you recognize the person in this exhibit? Yes. Who is that? Shitty. Holder. Okay. And did he appear, meaning, was his dress the same on that afternoon as he's shown in this exhibit? Yes. Do you know, this is some sort of a crop photo, but do you know the location where he was when this image was taken? Yes. Where is that? Master Burgers. Do you recall approximately how long you were in the lot with Nipsey before Holder arrived? Maybe a good 30, 40 minutes maybe? About 30 minutes, something like that. 30, 40 minutes. During the time period you were with him, did you ever leave his side? No. Meaning Nipsey's side? No. Mrs. Annalie Roca. Mr. Douglas, can you get a little bit closer to the microphone? By Mr. McKinney. And in that time period, from the time he arrived to the time Holder arrived, can you tell us just generally what was going on? What was Nipsey doing? Well, when he got out of the car, we started talking. I was just telling him how proud I was of him about a video he had did a couple of days ago. Just talking about the career. He had just been in the studio, you know, talking to Rimpa. Just talking about it felt like old times again, you know, just talking and reminiscing. A couple of people jumped out, wanted autographs coming out of the store. He signed a few photographs and talking to the fans. Okay, and what was his attitude and demeanor like before Holder arrived? We was just kicking back, laughing and having fun, just being himself. Did his attitude or demeanor change any after Holder approached your group? It didn't change really. He just had a conversation and like Nipsey was more or less trying to look out for the dude, was trying to help him, like basically warning the dude, like, you know, they got some paperwork on you. I haven't read the paperwork, but you know, you gotta watch your back. Okay, let me stop you there because I want to ask a question to get to that point. Okay, so you testified that after Holder got out of the car, did you see the first place he went to after he got out of the car? I think he came straight to us. Then he went to Master Burger, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. I think he came straight to us. I'm not sure. Okay, but at some point he did come to your group, correct? Yes. Tell us what happened as best you can, including the conversation, if any, that you heard between him and Nipsey after he approached the group. Well, I remember them shaking their hands. I remember Nip like, hey man, what's up? You know, where you been, bro? Like that. And he like, I've been gone. I've been gone. I've been gone. I've been out the way or whatever. And then Nipsey was like, man, you know, they got some paperwork on you, you know. I haven't read it, you know. Like, you my bro, you know. Like you need to maybe take care of that, you know. Let me stop you there. And I hate to interrupt you, but can you explain what paperwork means? Like he was in jail for snitching, or he had told on somebody or something, you know. Like, you know, there's rumors going around that he had told on somebody, some particular stuff he may have told on. And Nipsey had told him that he hadn't read it. I haven't read any paperwork. I don't know, you know, but you need to address it, or, you know, basically telling the guy you need to be careful, you know, because people got some paperwork on you. Okay, let me stop you there. In gang culture, paperwork is a term that usually refers to police reports or court documents, correct? Yes. So if a gang member says to another gang member, you better be careful because there's some paperwork that says you told or you snitched, what they're referring to is some police reports or some court documents that show that the person was cooperating with the police or maybe told something about gang business or a crime or something like that. Is that correct? Yes. So that we follow up to this point in your testimony, you heard Nipsey telling that to Holder, correct? Yes. And he was telling Holder, you might want to address that or take care of that. Yes. What does that mean? Or what did that mean to you? That means, you know, like, say for instance, they have paperwork on me. I'm gonna go address it. Like, you know, if I know I'm not bad or whatever, I'm gonna come let somebody know. Like, hold up. Or, you know, what's going on, you know? I'm gonna come clear. If there's some paperwork, I'm gonna bring my court papers. I just got out of jail for a case or whatever. I'm gonna come to the hood with my papers and say, look, this is what happened on the case, and maybe clear it up if I know I hadn't done nothing wrong. Why would somebody who's a rolling 60s crip need to clear up an accusation that there's paperwork that says they're snitching? Well, if they're not snitching, they need to clear it up so they won't, you know, get hurt or whatever it may be. Okay, because in gang culture, snitching is not a good thing to be known to do, correct? Yes. What are some of the consequences that follow from somebody who snitches? Everything from getting beat up to getting killed. Did Nipsey ever say specifically what Holder supposedly snitched about? No. Did he mention any names? No. Any cases? No. Any circumstances that you could describe in terms of what the snitching was about? No. Okay, now that we've clarified that, please continue with what you heard from the point where you left off. So, when he told him, you know, basically that he was kind of looking out for him, telling him to address the paperwork, and then shit he got to saying, oh yeah, motherfuckers be hating on me. They be hating on me, you know? And then Nip is like, so y'all know what I'm talking about? And he was like, no, people be hating on me. Then he looked and he asked us if we had heard his rap. Have we heard his new song? He said, yeah, I've been in the studio. I did my new song. Who said that? Shitty. He asked us have we heard it. And we're like, nah, we haven't heard your song or whatever. And I think at that time he might have shook our hand again. And I think he might have peeled off to go to the car, talk to the girl or something. Then he went back to Master Burger. Okay, what was the conversation that you witnessed in the time period mainly a conversation between Holder and Nipsey? Yes. were you chiming in at all with anything? You know, I chimed in a couple times, and when he started to mention the songs, I looked at him. He just looked kind of weird, like I don't know, maybe he was high or whatever it may be. Basically, I had told Nip at one point, come on, let's go in. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, just check in. In the parking lot, we don't hang out too much like that. So Nip is there, you know, we hang out for a little bit. It's time to get inside. So I had, you know, we had been out there too long already. And basically I told him, come on, let's go in. And I think at that time he had started to sign somebody else's autograph, but that's a little bit later. Was there anything about Holder that made you feel like you wanted to get Nipsey away from him? I mean, it was a straight snake move, something in my gut. I felt something in my gut, and I asked myself, like at that split second, I asked myself, why do I feel this way, you know? You know, just his presence made me I had an uneasy feeling about him. His demeanor and the stuff he was saying, it was no hint of animosity. There was no hint of anything. Like I said, it was a straight snake move. Had they had any type of words, I would have escorted them out, you know? Had they just had, you know, any type of, you know, it was just a straight snake move. I never in a million years would I have thought he would have came back and done that, you know? Judging by the conversation, I understand somebody's arguing and somebody leaves out, you kind of expect that. But there was never no argument. It was never, like I said, Nipsey was basically looking out for him, telling him that, you know, I haven't read it. I don't know if it's true or not, but you need to address it. That's what Nipsey was doing. And what about Holder's attitude? I know you said that this was a conversation that didn't seem particularly heated to you, right? Yeah. They were both speaking in a normal tone of voice? Yes. Did you feel anybody was disrespecting the other person? Not at all. Not at all. Had any disrespect went down, I would have escorted him off the parking lot. Okay, let me show you an exhibit. This is Grand Jury Exhibit number 9. Okay, do you recognize what's shown in this exhibit? Yeah. Okay, let me ask you some questions specifically. Now, this is an exhibit that shows the parking lot in front of the Marathon store, correct? Yes. Do you see this white car here off to the right side of the exhibit? Yes. Is that the car Holder arrived in? That definitely looks like it, because at some point in time they were facing this way, and at some point in time they were facing that way, because I remember him going over there and going back to the car. So when he first pulled in, he was facing that way. At some point in time when he was talking to us or whatever, she must have busted a U-turn, because then she was back that way. Okay, you're referring to the white car when it first came in? Yeah, it came in first and it was facing that way. It was facing the fence? Yeah. And at some point it must have turned around to face the direction where you guys were. Exactly, because I looked at the car. I noticed it might have had some dice or something in the window when I remember looking at it, because for some reason he went from Master Burgers back to the car and was talking to her, and that's how I had a chance to see her in the car. Dark-skinned female. Okay, let's see if we can identify some of the people in this photo. This is a number of smaller photos inset with arrows. So, first this person here, what appears to be a white cloth on his head. Is that Nipsey? Yes. So the exhibit accurately shows where Nipsey was standing? Yes. This person over here, the arrow pointing to you, is that you? Yes. This arrow down here at the bottom is pointing to a young man. Is that Rimpaw? Yes. Okay, then there's an arrow off to the right pointing to somebody with a question mark in the box. Do you know who that person is? Could have been a barber maybe. I'm not. Oh, her right here? No. Oh, him? This person right here. Oh. If you don't know, that's fine. I'm not sure. Okay. Now this person looks like a short person with dark colored shorts and a white t-shirt. Do you know who that is? It looks like Ingrid that was bringing my food. It looks like her. I'm not sure. Okay. Let me ask another question. This is Annalie Roca. And I'm so sorry, Mr. Douglas, but you do need to speak into the microphone. And so you said that looks like Ingrid who is bringing you your food? Yes, I said it looks like. This is Annalie Roca. Okay, go ahead. By Mr. McKinney. At some point after Holder first approached your group and there was this conversation that you described, did another young woman walk up and ask to have a picture with Nipsey? Yes. Who was that person? It was, if I'm not mistaken, an older lady had said she wanted a t-shirt, if I'm not mistaken. At the time we were talking, he might have signed, I want to say 2 autographs and maybe took 2 pictures. Did you ever see the driver of that white car approach your group? No. Okay. Miss Annalie Roca. Well, let me ask you a question. You said some other people came up for autographs or something? And were those women or men? There was a couple. I think two guys came up and took photos, and I think maybe two different females might have come up and took some photos too. Mrs. Roca. So do you know where they had come from? Just in the parking lot leaving out the store. The lady, she had left out the store and said to Nipsey, "Oh, I got a shirt. Can you sign it for me?" Basically, we get tourists around the world every day prior to this, just in the parking lot. Mrs. Roca. So you can't say where one of the women specifically came from, but someone came up to him for a picture. Definitely, the couple. They definitely came out of the store with their marathon bags. So definitely two to three of those people came out of our store. Okay, and they had bags, and they had stuff for him to sign. And a woman wanted him to sign a t-shirt. Uh-huh, yes. Yes? And then were there two other women or one other woman? I want to say two. People approached him. If he's not taking care of business and he's out there taking pictures, people will approach him. So my question to you is, Mr. Douglas, do you know where those additional women had come from, or did they? You didn't see where they had come from. You just saw that they got close to him and then asked him. Yes. Like we were talking and maybe they'll come up behind us and say, "Hey, can I get an autograph?" Like we're in between a couple of cars, so people come behind us and say, "Hey, Nip, can I get a picture?" or whatever. Okay, so there was someone, you just don't know where they came from. Yeah, they were in the parking lot. Okay. They were in one of the stores, maybe. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Douglas. Go ahead, Mr. McKinney. Okay, and for the record, this is Grand Jury Exhibit number 9. The one person I didn't ask you about yet is the person at the top here, who you previously identified as Eric Holder. It's hard to see him in the group, but is it fair to say that this photo was taken during the conversation that you described Holder having with Nipsey? Yes. During that conversation, do you recall a young woman walking up and right in the middle of the conversation taking a selfie with Nipsey? Do you remember that or not? I remember somebody came. I think I remember. If it wasn't one, maybe two people might have did selfies. I'm not sure. He took a couple photos. Okay, let me go back. I'm going to show you that video that I showed you earlier. This is camera 6 from Grand Jury Exhibit number 11, I believe. Mrs. Roca. Yes. Mr. McKinney. Yes. Mrs. Annalie Roca. The same one as the last time. Camera 6. Mr. McKinney. Yes. Exhibit 11. Camera 6 played by Mr. McKinney. I'm going to forward the time to 13:55 as it appears on the video. I'm not going to be able to place it precisely, so I'll just start here, 13:55:17. So in the lot at this point is you, Rimpaw, and Nipsey talking, correct? Uh-huh. Mrs. Roca. Is that a yes? Yes. Thank you. By Mr. McKinney. And you guys are right here at the top of the image, correct? Yes. Now we just saw a white car pull in. Did you see that? Yes. Is that the car that you testified Holder was in? Yes. So at this point, 13:56:14, Nipsey had already looked at the car and said, "Is that shitty?" Yeah. Yes. So at this point, while the car is sitting there at 13:56:47, it looks like a gentleman came from out of the store and walked up. Appears to be getting some kind of autograph or something. Did you see that? It appears like that. Is that true? Yes. And standing next to Nipsey still you and Rimpaw, correct? Yes. Now look at the white car at the bottom, 13:57:10. Is that Holder getting out? Yes. And at 13:57:21, did you see where he went to? Yes. Where did he go? The Master Burgers. Okay, at 13:57:35, it appears the car he arrived in is turning to now face your direction, correct? Yes. And I want you to focus on the Master Burger at the top of the screen. Do you see that person just walk out at 13:58? Yes. Follow him. Is that Eric Holder? Yes. He appears to not be wearing a shirt, is that correct? Yes. And he appears to come over and shake Nipsey's hand at that point, is that true? Yeah. So the group at this point is Nipsey, Rimpaw, you, Eric Holder, and this person who came out of the store for what appeared to be an autograph, correct? Yes. Do you see the young lady getting out of the white car? Yes. At 13:58:40, she walks up to the group of you. Is that correct? Yes. Did you notice her at that time? Not at all. Okay. No. Mrs. Roca. Thank you, Mr. Douglas. By Mr. McKinney. I want you to continue to watch. Okay. At 13:59:08 or so, it looks like she walks into the middle of the group. Did you see that? Yeah. And you're still standing there with Rimpaw, Eric Holder, and this person who I'll call a fan, the one who got the autograph. The young lady is next to Nipsey here. Is that correct? Yes. Standing to his right side? Nods head. And he puts his... It looks like he puts his arm around her at 13:59:33, and he leans back on the car. Do you see that? Yes. Do you know what happened at that moment? No. Do you know whether she took a picture with him at that moment? I don't know. Okay. In any event, she appears to go back to the white car. Do you see that? Yes. Did you notice that at the time, or are you seeing it for the first time now? First time. Okay. After she returns to the car, there's still the same group of men standing there, including Nipsey and Eric, correct? Yes. In fact, up here, it looks like Nipsey is talking directly to Holder while Rimpaw and you are standing right there in the group. Is that true? Yes. Exhibit 11 played.
Look, somehow I escaped the fate of this life I lead. Divorced the street, she tried to kill me and my wife to be. Black widow, silk sheets and a satin pillow. The California king loves you like a sack of Indo. Empty Patron bottles and a pack of Mentos. Master suite, refrigerator full of incidentals. Every day we have a ball like a blonde bimbo. Talk to her like a shrink and fuck her like an nympho. And it can be as simple as it seems if you never doubt yourself and learn from everything you seen. No, wishing on a star can turn your life into a dream. And you could walk on water, so don't look down at your feet. Look, told this world I was a star and I'm gonna need a stage. Cause life is short and talk is cheap, so fuck what people say. When I was 12, a crazy lady told me lead the way. I shed a tear cause it was real, swore to never stray. Now every second is a classic with nothing lasts. Gotta take a moment and appreciate the fact that this world is turning faster and faster. And once you felt the real, it's hard to tolerate the plastic. I ain't no Christian, ain't no Catholic, but I believe God gon' shine his light on everyone that never had shit. I need some answers to these questions that I'm asking. We used to be connected, who detached us? Used to be respected, now they laugh. We turned into possessions with no passion. How we go from the best to less than average? We used to be connected, who detached us? With no collective identity. Yo. It's every man for himself. Me. We need a black mafia. Wait, look. Ruthless crip on some stupid shit. To valeting that Ruth Chris is some ruthless shit. I think too much TV is what ruins kids. When homosexual actresses they influences. We need community centers that teach the music biz. Way we learn to retain ownership on some Jewish shit. Don't take no handouts, you build it, it's more lucrative. And out of everything that I spoke, this the truest shit. You get abused long enough, you start abusing shit. She flipped the script and now your woman calling you a bitch. You got some problems in the house that only you can fix. And if you was a kid that grew up with it, even you would split. He told the world he was a star and he gon' need a stage. Cause life is short and talk is cheap, so fuck what people say. When he was 12, a crazy lady told him lead the way. He shed a tear cause it was real and swore to never stray. Now every second is a class, when nothing lasts. Gotta take a moment and appreciate the fact that this world is turning faster and faster. And once you felt the real, it's hard to tolerate the plastic. I ain't no Christian, ain't no Catholic, but I believe God gon' shine his light on everyone that never had shit. I need some answers to these questions that I'm asking. We used to be connected, who detached us? Juicerocc. No separation.
Juicerocc beat.